Hello, everyone. I will be kind of in and out here for just a second as this starts up on my end. I'll need to immediately mute it so that you guys don't get audio doubling of some sort, or we'll just be good to go. Perfect. Okay. Then I will need to move that off to the side, though. So just a moment, and once we do that, we will be in shape. Okay, now all we need to do is load up Terraria. And we are golden. Alright. So, couple key things to get out of the way before we hop right into it. This is Terraria, but not just any run of Terraria. The idea behind this one is that we are going to be playing in Terraria 1.0. You heard that right. This is the oldest version of Terraria that was officially available from ReadLogic themselves. There were leaked betas and leaked alphas. I actually did an old stream of those a long time ago. But as far as ReadLogic's official material is concerned, this was the first version. You can tell by this ancient-looking sun. Yeah, this wouldn't look like this for all too long. But this was how it looked at launch, and this is how it looked in the beta as well. We'll get into that in just a second, but essentially that's kind of the deal with Terraria in this early state. For all intents and purposes, this is a very, very, very late beta of what they wanted Terraria to be when it first came out. And I think that's something important to keep in mind if you're planning to play this for yourself. You'll also notice that it's kind of in a weird screen format. I'm running at 720p specifically because the original version of Terraria was exclusively designed for use in 800 by 600. This would be changed in, I believe, 1.0.3, but on the very earliest builds of the game, you are stuck in this specific windowed mode. I have this loading on a CRT, so it manages to still look pretty fantastic, but on modern screens, it can look pretty weird, and it's hard to go back to. There were apps that improved it, though. Kind of. So, without further ado, we're going to be starting a single-player adventure. As far as our character format, we do have a couple options here. It's a very, very unconventional system in this very early build. Instead of using any sort of scroll wheels or stuff like that, you have individual 8-bit assignments of red, green, and blue values to each color scheme, and that's how you would get any color you wanted, the same way that any 8-bit color-based system works. And you have your hairstyles, which you simply flick through like this, instead of having them all in a neat grid like we enjoy today. There were 17 in the very first build. As far as the one that we will use, I have a couple different choices. I believe there is a randomizer. That was still, or no, there isn't a randomizer. Interesting. So that even this early on, there was not options like that available. So let's see. Go for something a bit different. Something I don't think I've ever picked before. Like, I never really understood what this hairstyle was supposed to be. Let's give that a shot. We'll go for like maxed out red values, and you'll notice that values can all be maxed out, but you actually can't zero out all of your values. Unless one of them is already at like a full 255, I think it will reject it. It needs a certain amount of values, otherwise it will fail. You need to have at least 254 bits of color information, or else it breaks. Just how it's designed to be. So we'll just do solid red hair. That looks fine enough on here. Eye color is practically unnoticeable, but we'll max it out for blue to really get the most out of our contrast. Although, alright, I chose green. What am I doing? And that's actually what makes getting any sort of black very difficult, because you have to do like certain math to figure out, okay, you have like a 66, a 66, and a 67, and that mostly just looks like a solid black, but weird color theory stuff. I won't mess with skin tone. We'll just keep it on default. As far as clothes go, we'll just do shirt color like a tan, almost like a Simon Belmont, kind of like leather look to it. Let's see. It's all rather subtle details, ultimately. Although you certainly do get much deeper color in larger spaces like this. We'll just go for like a full red and green configuration, how about? Or not red and green, I keep thinking green. Red and blue is probably the way to go. Full 3D glasses out kind of effect. I will be doing my best to keep track of chat, although the CRT is kind of away from my chat view, but I'll do my best to look back on it. And miscellaneous, which I believe is only shoes. I think the reason it says miscellaneous in the first place is because early Terraria character designs only had, or rather, additionally had belts. And possibly other details as well, but I know for sure that they had belts and they had shoes, and those both had to share a color set in character creation, and that's simply how it worked. For whatever reason. And I just knocked my character off, didn't I? Yeah, that was the other frustrating thing. If you accidentally pressed back, you just lost all of that. So you know what? We'll just stick with good old-fashioned Redigit over here. He's fine. Here, I'll change the hair so that I'm not a complete clone. We'll do blue hair. See, I'm different. Beautiful. OG character. Do not deal. Wow, it'll let me... It almost will let you do that entire thing. That's pretty wild. Okay. How do we misspell this? Character. Okay. I mean, that fits perfectly. I'll go with it. And then we will create a new world. I had a world on here earlier for testing purposes. And due to the way that Terraria world generation works and that we're on a single player profile, it only makes sense to do a small world. As for what we'll call it, let's just go with World 1.0 for convenience. We might, if only for showing off unused content, do a couple other worlds, but not to actually get anything from them, just to show that world generation changed subtly over time. Because it was quite a bit different in 1.0. Here we go. And also, yeah, you could notice that world generation was wicked fast on a modern system. It's kind of just an odd factor in the way all of this stuff worked. And here we are, spawning with a sunflower in hand. This is a Terraria 1.0 world. It is kinda barren. A lot of stuff that we are highly accustomed to these days is missing. But a couple core elements are still here. You got trees, you got dirt, you got stone, you got sunflowers, and you have starting tools, although one of those is missing too. No copper short sword, not a one. You only start with an axe and a pickaxe. That wouldn't change until, I think, 105. In a lot of ways, 105 is kind of what Terraria's first not beta feeling rendition is. Before then, a lot of elements of the game's progression appear somewhat unfinished. There's kind of this odd uncanniness about them. So let's talk a little bit about what this challenge is going to be about, because I know there could be some confusion about whether or not I will be like having to chop trees down every single time I update the game. The world files for Terraria have maintained complete compatibility since this very version. The beta files aren't compatible, the alpha doesn't even have a save system, but starting from 1.0, any world that you create and any player you create will be transferable to all other versions, as long as you do it in a chronological order. Obviously, you can't downgrade a character. Once he's been placed in 1.4, he's stuck there. He can't just go back to 1.0, even if there's otherwise no conflicts. Because ultimately, characters were generated differently, it was just easy to make them compatible as time went on. And unlike with certain other versions, there aren't serious issues between those updating processes. It's not exactly fresh in people's minds anymore, but I think a lot of people do remember how, with console Terraria, it was a huge issue with updating your game back then. The console version started in version 1.1, and then eventually you ended up in this weird position where the PC version had just made it to 1.2, but because of how different those versions were, there were so many issues with engine software trying to get stuff ported that it became kind of a disaster. And a lot of people lost their saves. Fortunately, since we're not playing on console and repeating the structure of console update paths, well, I guess maybe theoretically possible, is not easy at all with the technology we have, and more accurately, the archives we don't have. On PC, everything is very well archived, and oddly enough, Android is very well archived as well. I'm pretty sure that as long as you had the right Android phones, you could very easily do a Terraria campaign across the entirety of the Android releases, but one, that'd be very difficult to record, and two, you'd have to play Terraria mobile to do it, and, you know, code glue wasn't always the best at that sort of thing. There were issues aplenty. Okay. Chop down a lot of trees. I should probably be replanting as I go. Not being terribly good about that. Not my finest habits. However, there are a couple other habits that I'm going to partially try to avoid in this version. For instance, because I'm going to eventually be in 1.4, I don't want to do generic NPC housing that was so popular back then. Could be a real issue. As far as where I actually want to form my house, it's not really much of a cave system to the right, so let's just see what's over here. Get some quick copper along the way, because why not? Kind of make use of daylight while I have it. Go venture out, kill as many slimes as possible, try to survive the night inside a cave system, since it's going to be threatening anyway at that point. And we can place some wood down, we have plenty of it. Oh yeah, one of the first key differences that we're running into in terms of gameplay, stacks only go up to 250 in this version, and that's only for some items. Some items only go up to 99 that nowadays do more, but any items that these days go up to 999 only went up to 250 in this release. I'm not entirely sure why, but that was a limitation back then. And here's where we get into kind of an issue of Terrarian world generation in the 1.0 days. Yeah, see, we've already hit a corruption before we've even hit a mining system in either direction. Deserts were not nearly as precarious as they are in the more modern stuff, but Corruptions are actually much more treacherous. You'll also notice that there's no iconic corruption music yet. Wasn't a thing. Oh wow, 4 enemies on screen. That's very rare in Terraria 1.0. You're almost guaranteed to only have 3 enemies. Once you get a third, the other's super likely to just outright despawn. That's some iron, though. And I'm gonna try not to die. I don't actually know whether or not the pickaxe or axe does more damage. I should probably know that by now with how much I've played this game. But I do not. Probably doesn't matter with these guys anyway. It's going to be 1 damage no matter what, isn't it? Also, no health bars. Very much an issue back then. However, one of the things that wasn't an issue back then was actually healing. Healing was very easy. The cooldown was very, very short. It was only 10 seconds, I think. Just, you know, nothing compared to how things are anymore. Maybe this is a small cave system. Let's take a look. Actually make some torches. Oh yeah, no fast generation of objects, which is kind of a pain. Right-clicking doesn't do anything in this version, at least when it comes to crafting, which is kind of a pain. Oh, we might have a legit cave system here. Wow, I think it was hidden under my nose this whole time. Yeah, maybe it is short, but... yeah, this is better than you often get in 1.0. Rarely are you given a cave system that is just right next to spawn. You often really have to venture out to find a good one. So this is actually very, very good luck on roll generation. Which is pretty cool. Facing water, though, which is a problem for early game especially, because it's just kind of hard to navigate, and we're at the end already. Well, it's not the worst cave in the world to start with, but it doesn't give us too many options. You also have to deal with the rules of the wooden platforms for quite some time. It really wouldn't change much at all until, geez, Terraria 1.3. I think the recipe finally changed. I feel like it might have been different for console players in the early days, but I could just be misremembering. It's also kind of a dark game. Like, I can force brightness, but it's not fantastic. Well, let's go out to the desert. We can probably survive at least a little bit out there. I should make a sword, though, if I'm gonna do that. Other weird change, a 1.0. Not really anachronism, because it was the case in a 1.1 as well. Hammers actually had a lot more purpose in terms of actual, like, regular game use. A lot of the things that pickaxes do today were actually facets of how you used a hammer. If you wanted to destroy any sort of piece of furniture or a workbench or anything like that, you pretty much had to use a hammer to do it. You also notice that deserts were extremely barren back in the day. You had a lot more cobblestone. You had really wonky generation issues for the world. You had just kind of nothing. No cacti. It's a big one. So for now, I'm just kind of going around, getting mushrooms, filling out the map. Although there isn't technically a map, just for my own information. I want to see what all is available. And here we go. We might have an actual mining system here. Hopefully. Seems like it's a lot more clay and the like. Very windy. Not unusual for 1.0 tunnel generation. And here we go. Might actually have something here. Whoa. Oh my god. How did I survive? Okay, that's a weird quirk of 1.0. And this actually is kind of an odd thing that I think if you take damage right before you hit the ground, it nullifies fall damage. Weird thing. I absolutely should have died there, but I think that zombie just saved my life. Either that or it was the blue slime. That's pretty incredible. Got some lesser healing potions right off the gate. Extremely useful later on. And honestly, very powerful even back then. Okay, so that still applies. I couldn't quite remember if you could actually displace platforms on walls like this. You can. And now we have to frustratingly click left a whole bunch of times until we have enough platforms to progress. It is very slow going, but it does work. I'm only just about a full stack. Alright, so now... yeah, we do have to worry about creatures kind of coming in from the darkness. You don't have a whole lot of space to see what's ahead of you on 800 by 600 resolution, so you do have to definitely be mindful of that as you progress through cave system. Stuff can just come out of nowhere. Never underestimate how much lighting you need. Oh god. Couldn't get him to fall. That's okay. There are nice things about 1.0 enemy generation. One of the big ones is that there's only 3 enemies that can show up at a time. So it is pretty easily to pick them off as they go. Even if it's slow in this version. And it looks like we're at the end of the natural one. Not a lot of ore to show for it, which is unfortunate. But we definitely killed some time throughout the night. But we are actually only in the underground layer now. It's actually kind of crazy. It's taken this long. Make sure there's nothing on the other side of the sand here. Oh, it looks like there definitely was. Time to do some good old sand digging. Everybody's favorite. And it'll be useful for glass later if I want to use it for something, I suppose. But this was just one of those things that was really common with the 1.0 world generation. You can also kill enemies with sand, which is pretty cool. Also, unlike in, I think starting in 1.0, maybe even in 1.0, or It's either in 1.1 or 105 that you could actually you could have a certain cooldown on potions and the like. I think there was also some lighting improvements in 1.0, but they were mild. It didn't really get much better until 1.2. I'll go ahead and make a way over to the demon altar. Is he gonna actually make it into here? That might actually be a no. And there it goes. Get out of here. And he's got a lot of health. Well, it's not so much that he has a lot of health, it's that I don't do very much damage. But... okay, good. At least I can actually wail on something a little bit here. And there he goes. How many lesser healing potions did I get? I only got a couple. So as far as my current plan, my goal was to, one, find a demon altar. Just to have one handy that I know is available. It's really useful. Okay, I'm gonna have to deal with him in a second. Oh, jeez. I only do 3 damage per hit. Oh, this is gonna be close. Oh. I guess I could have healed. Oh yeah, by the way, lesser healing potions go for 100 health points, which makes them completely busted in some respects. Also, this is actually rather high up for a demon altar. Usually, they don't show up at this height. So that's pretty interesting. Oh. There we go. Yeah, just in its own little nested area here. A lot of copper. Copper was actually very useful in this version because there was no wooden armor. So copper was essentially the starting point. It was actually worth getting the stuff, and that was the case up until, for most people, 1.2. I think for console players, they got some wooden armor assets early, before the 1.2 update proper came about. For PC players, though, it just all happened at once. Okay. Discovered that. That's notable. Let's, just put some torches along there. And make some more. There was very little else you could do with gel. Sticky bombs wouldn't be introduced until the following update. It was really more of a bug fix, but happened to add that as a single additional item. Very large copper deposit. A lot of mud blocks. Kind of odd. Makes me wonder if the underground jungle could be close. It probably wouldn't show up at this elevation, though. Or actually, I mean, it's the underground jungle. It could, actually. And starts at about this level. Got cobwebs, very useful for changing spawn point pretty soon, because I believe you didn't actually need, you needed a workbench to make silk, but that's all you needed. You did need a lot of cobwebs, though. Get plenty of iron. Silver is actually very important in this version, mostly for any of the jungle-related items. They relied upon it. I'm gonna try to hold off on heals. I may regret it. Doesn't look like much there, but just to be safe. Whoa. Oh, you know what? I think that was a giant worm. It's weird, though. I didn't hear him coming at all. Oh, that's the end of me. I didn't have too much, just 12 silver. But I will go back for it, though, because it looked like there was another room over there. And fortunately, it's just turned to daytime. It's kind of sad, but by 1.0 standards, not a bad start. Honestly, very reasonable. But there was a lot of stuff like this. You know, movement was either pathetically flat or like this, where it's just kind of silly looking, super bumpy. Okay. I'm not too worried about torches. I've got 50 of them. It still is Terraria in a lot of fundamental ways. You know, it's still kind of that micromanagement aspect to the whole thing. You still have to worry about resources at all times, inventory management, figuring out what you can actually fight and what you can't. Man, maybe you just had better fall damage requirements back then. I don't know. It doesn't seem like I should be surviving that easily. Like, I should be taking some damage, but it doesn't seem to be any. Very strange. Okay. Back over to where the yellow slime killed me. And yeah, nothing despawned either. That's handy. Something could very well come out of the blue here, though. Nope. Doesn't seem to be too much here either, but it keeps egging me on. These little pits that don't ultimately lead anywhere. Oh well. Blue slime, we can take him. Good. And then... okay. No. I think I can pot shot him. Alright, oh yeah, slimes didn't know how to go through platforms. I don't know if they ever learned that, but I always found it amusing when playing these older Terraria builds. I suppose I haven't mentioned that either, how exactly I'm playing these, because if you didn't know, Terraria doesn't offer standard means of playing these older builds. It's not hard to do, but you do need to actually go to the Internet Archive. I imagine that it's not directly supported, of course, but There are means of playing most of these versions officially if you wanted to. You can play the big hitters, 1.0, most of its derivatives, 1.1.2, a lot of the most important final sub-revisions of a lot of different releases from over the years. But you are missing some of the smaller stuff. You are missing out on basically anything else that came out besides those big releases. Even like 106 isn't there, but 1061 is there. Stuff like that where, initially that might lead to you thinking that maybe some of them are just lost because they weren't available for all that long, but they're not. They are found. They're available on the Internet Archive if you look for them. And while you don't technically need an official version of Terraria to play them, there wasn't really a reason to go through these versions if you aren't already familiar with what Terraria is now. And it's not the kind of thing that you should be starting with anyway. It's just rather silly to play it that way. But ultimately, that's how you would get them. There's a full repository of every single release, hopping all the way from Terraria 1.0 all the way to the most recent, like just the one right before the Don't Starve update, or I think even the one between that update and whatever we're on now. I'll be honest, I struggle to keep track of Modern Terraria updates. There's a lot that comes out, and a lot of it's incremental, so... Got some silver here, though. Yeah, weird, very weird sprite for silver. This was changed in 1.2, sorry, alongside a lot of other sprites in the game. Just one of many, many changes made over time. And I did not realize that was the bottom of that water pit, but okay. Further down we go. First life crystal, big deal. Use a good old wooden hammer. Oh, no, 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 no. Of course. Wrong hotkey, but that's okay. I thought it was just... Interesting, that doesn't work. Maybe that was added later. Also, weird thing, text in Terraria did not work quite the same in the very early days. Before... These days, we pretty much exclusively associate mana with... Again. We pretty much exclusively associate mana with blue, and we associate health with green. That's actually not the color scheme before. Not damage with red. Damage was still red, health was blue, and mana was a blue-violet. A very strange difference. You will notice that a lot of the more treacherous elements of Terraria mining that kind of kept you on your toes weren't a thing back then. Dart traps, boulder traps, a lot of stuff like that wasn't a thing yet. So mining was actually, besides some of the more treacherous enemies, not a very difficult experience. However, whenever you got big enemies like that early on, that could be a real problem. To be honest, I'm probably biting off more than I can chew here. These are 90 damage enemies. Ooh. Well, they're not 90 damage, they're 90 health. But, yeah, this is still probably too much. See if I can bait either of them. There we go. Then if we just do a little thing here. Now if one of them jumps up here, they're stuck up here. And one gave up. Come on. Shoot. There we go. Alright, now I can just fight this one. Which I stand have a chance against. This is still not going to be an easy fight. Okay. Okay. Yeah, a lot of the challenge comes from lighting in early Terraria cavern design. You just can't see very well. Oh boy. Shoot, I don't know where he is. I don't know if I can jump up. Oh man. That's probably the end of it. I don't think I can get out. That sucks. I had 17 copper. I couldn't tell how much silver I have. I just realized all of my statements are probably delayed right now. I'm going to change my audio settings a bit. Done. Okay. No more severe audio delay. Sorry about that, guys. Now you're actually going to be hearing me in real time. There might be a little bit of bleed over from the 10-second delay. I don't know. It would be over by now. And I'm just going to try to head back over. There's really still nothing else that I can do in the early game. Because I still don't have a terrible amount of any resources. I only have 6 total gemstones, 16 silver, 66 copper, that's decent. Might be enough for a chest plate. And there's certain rules about the way that defense works that are really useful. One of the funny things about old Terraria, you can actually rely on a lot of older guides to get a lot of good information from back then. Euromir has a ton of stuff about the way that 1.0 works, notably how the 1.0 defense system operates. That's really interesting. You know, you have defense rounding up, which I don't think was a thing in the future, but was a thing here. And that's really useful information to know because of how damage reduction works. Can save you a lot of time. Gemstones. We're still not at cavern level, which it feels like we're pretty low, but we can't be that low. If we haven't reached that yet. Let me just... Can we drain this? But we can probably drain this. Oh man, skeletons just speeding by in this version. Just guarantees you a safe landing, helps a lot if you ever end up with lava, because generating lava was difficult in 1.0. You're pretty much reliant on good lava pools if you wanted to get any decent amount of obsidian. Because there were no buckets. So, or well, there were buckets, but they were expensive. And you had to worry about certain limitations. Notably that water physics were even worse in this version than they were in like 1.2, right before they got overhauled. Yeah, it was worse before then. Water had already been enhanced once, slightly. I don't know if the worm got despawned or what. Oh, I see gold. Okay. I can get out of there, at least. I'll put some platforms down and we'll just dig our way through the top here as to not flood the place. And get plenty of stone, because, well, we will need at least a good chunk of it for furnaces and the like, and maybe for some stone tools. Actually, I don't think stone tools were a thing in this version. They might still not be a thing. I could play that with Minecraft a lot. But we are just barely in Cavern Lair, and to denote that, we just found gold. Just barely coming across it. You can literally see the line between the layers. Kinda neat. So a decent deposit of gold for this high up. I mean, some of this is literally peeking into, you know, a layer that I don't think it's even supposed to spawn in. So this is a pretty large vein. Ooh, there we go. Worm enemies were much more of a threat back in the day, because damaging them for a lot was very, very difficult. Once I can upgrade to a gold broadsword, I won't have to worry about this so much. But my current piddly armor stats are not doing me any favors. And I think that Mother Slime might come down for me. I can't tell what's across here. Take a risky dive. I don't have enough health to be doing this. Oh, shoot. I did not have enough health to be doing that. Okay, but I did get a decent amount of resources. I think I have enough stuff to make a furnace. And I don't know how many cobwebs I have. Oh, great, it's in nighttime. It's not good. Let's see. I have 18 silver. I might try to build base over here. It is kind of far from the corruption, which sucks. It's tough to say what's better. Hopefully if I get Hermes boots, then it'll be kind of a moot point. Because it is a lot of flat terrain. We're gonna do some slightly subterranean housing. Probably just build onto the top of the cavern. As far as base building goes. Let me see how much silk we have. I think only 5 pieces. That might be enough. I should also note that the guide's usual one purpose of being your recipe browser is not a thing in this version. That wouldn't be introduced until 1.0.5, which made early recipe construction very, very much a hassle. Let's just kind of hunker down a little bit deeper in here. Come on. Bed. Perfect. Pivotal to early game progression. Now I can die and immediately get back to mining. Okay, let's kill some zombies up our way here. And then we'll kind of block off the entrance to the cavern. Just for now. Then we will... Couple ways I could go about this. I might actually build my house going into the cavern so that I don't have to mess with mud walls at all. That might be the best course of action. Because otherwise that could be very annoying. It also help for getting back up, because that's going to be a problem. Okay, so that'll be the course of action. Unfortunately, with the night still being what it is, I really can't do much else with it. I'll just try to wait it out, mess with what I can until it gets back to service time, or if I get a magic mirror, if I'm very lucky. I wasn't able to get much in the way of potions. I still haven't ran into any standard chests. I'm not going to be able to hear it turn between day and night, but that's okay. Like, drops that you wouldn't really worry too much about in other versions just become so much more precarious with the limitations of 1.0. You just really don't have a lot of screen real estate at all. And I'll definitely need more wood after this, but that's alright. I probably should have made something, but it's okay. Starting to fill up inventory space anyway. Which is really a lot of the value that you get when you first see a chest. Not having to make one yourself is hugely useful. Cobwebs. Silk isn't used for a whole lot else besides beds, but actually having another bed is useful, especially for like end game when you're doing Skeletron and stuff like that. But you don't do much else with it. Oh boy, first skeleton match. Good thing that black slime was completely incompetent during that fight. Because usually those enemies are much scarier. Okay, so that didn't lead to much. This doesn't really lead to much. At least without going into the depths. Let's find another way around. Oop. Very hard to see in this version. I think that changed a little bit with later versions. But black slimes are very, very hard to see. I'm gonna go for no heals, because to be honest, the likelihood that I survive anyway isn't terribly high. Just gonna kind of stick to straddling the edge of the cavern lair for a while. Try to find a little bit more gold if I can be lucky enough. And if not, just find a lot of silver or iron, or even a little bit of copper isn't so bad. Although I do already have a decent bit of it. Get the feeling that black slime is going to be the death of me. Come on, can we at least... Nope. Can't do that. That's okay. By now it's probably day. Yes, excellent. Time to build our house. Somewhat far away from spawn, but corruption ended up pretty close to spawn, so that's not a big deal. And again, once we have Hermes boots, this is not going to be an issue. Okay. So I see a system here that we can go about for this. What I actually do is make this a little bit taller, just so that I don't have to bother with it as much. And we'll kind of do a balcony ledge system, which should be pretty nice. Hopefully. Might end up being 2 floors, we'll see. Or 3 floors, rather, because of course a balcony ledge system is going to have 2 floors. As far as house size goes, we're not going to get too crazy. But we'll probably take down this whole little forest section and replant as seen fit. We won't actually need this much space or anything, it'll just be for a matter of keeping everything in check. Okay. 139 here. So let's wait until it gets to 119. There we go, that's 20, and then actually it's 17. Or no, we'll keep it. Yeah, we should keep it even actually. That's gonna make life easier. Oh wow, that's almost perfect. Okay, so this will be 4-person housing, it looks like. We'll just have probably a 2 elevator system. I think is actually going to make the most sense. Normally I do like a central elevator, but I actually don't think that'll be super convenient for this housing style. So we'll switch it up a bit. And we'll just fill it in with wood walls and the like. And yeah, just kind of weird things about 1.0 building. So first of all, torches are just kind of awkward. It's hard to find a good way to make them kind of blend in to whatever you're trying to make. That's why there were so many sort of alternatives for like placeable torch options. It's kind of popular back then. This is probably a very weird room, but as long as it counts, I'm going to keep it this way. And there we go. Have some early housing systems. And we'll do kind of an outer balcony ledge. And then we will put doors down on the outermost, and we will also put some other stuff down. So this topmost section is kind of going to be our early crafting station room. It can be made taller as time goes on, as it will most likely require. Okay, let's see. $27 bars. I don't think that's enough for a chest plate, but it's close. That's enough for an anvil. I know you can buy them later, which is a thing, but... Oh, it is enough for chainmail. Perfect. Just barely. By far the best deal with copper armor. Actually, that's not true. It's probably the worst deal with copper armor. Why did I do that? Literally just talking about how I learned a little bit from how Euromir had to do things, but clearly did not. And that's probably not enough to do much of anything. It's close, but it's not there. I technically have enough to make a chest, but I would really prefer not to. What I might do, if I have enough silver... Well, yeah, I don't have enough silver. I'm probably one off from having enough to make that work, but... Okay. So now we can kind of organize this a little bit. Put that over there. And then make a whole bunch of wood walls. And tables. Oh, we actually need a lot more wood. Interesting. Okay. Let's go do that. Here we go. This is more like it. And I will probably flatten this out. Do some minor terraforming. Okay, so a couple things to keep in mind for 1.0 is that it is definitely more grindy than a lot of other versions of Terraria. A lot of the things that exist today kind of allow you to bypass pre-hard mode mining and all that kind of stuff. There are some strategies for rushing 1.0, some of which I might attempt. Mostly due to some exploits with the way that the Eater of Worlds works. Essentially, there's a trick with the Eater of Worlds where you can basically get his rarest drop, or not even technically his rarest drop, just his most valuable, without actually properly killing him. Worm enemies just had weird behavior in 1.0, and it's an easy thing to exploit. And since the Eater of Worlds dropped a whole piece of Shadow Armor upon death, you got a lot of good stuff from that. I mean, that was easily abused. I mean, even if it was a duplicate piece, you got so much money out of it. It was just really useful in that respect. Okay, so we're gonna kind of ground this out. It's okay if it goes up a little bit, although 1-block ledges are enough to stop Hermes boots in this version, which sucks. But I can go ahead and do that, take that out. Keep it short, and it won't be a big deal. I'll kind of terraform this a bit. And a lot of this terraforming that I'm doing now isn't really required or anything. It's just for ease of use in the future. Again, due to the way that Hermes boots behave in this version. And in 1.0. And I keep saying 1.0. 1.1 has it very similar. Okay. So... let's knock this out right away. Let's get some doors. We'll need 3. One goes here, one goes here, and one will go to here. And that should be about it as far as what this strictly needs. I guess I should make a sign. Like I did in the old series. It all started here. Okay. So now I just gotta put a bunch of walls down and actually get rolling. And also, let's get some more torches apparently, because I seem to be fresh out. New stack of those will do. And now it's time for walls. Just a whole bunch of them. Probably over a stack for a place of this size. Ooh. Where'd you come from? Oh, can they actually get that way from up there? Maybe they can. Okay, well, I'll have to find a way around that then. What I'll probably do for now, have that set up that way, and then add a ledge to the top. Perfect. That's workable. It's not ideal, but it's workable. And we'll also make them 2 space. just to make them a little more accident prone, even if it's not as pleasing to look at. I'll actually need another door. Hopefully that's all I need. And we will have a proper spawn set, and I won't need to be worried about that. Spawn point set. Let's go. Unfortunately, you can't just place torches on top of that. You actually need a certain item to do that. Which seems kind of silly, but it was the way things worked. Yeah, you needed a candle, which required a whole gold bar. I mean, it worked, but yikes. Not really worth it. So while it is a little bit dark for the moment, I'll eventually get chandeliers or something to work with. I'll have a lot of spare copper eventually. Hopefully I have enough wood that this can be a room. And hopefully it also counts for spawn point. It ought to, but you never know. That might get annoying. Tell you what, we're gonna put the workbench over here. Then actually stack the anvil over top of it on a slight offset. Gonna do something that way. And then I also want to do... where's glass? Food furnace, I do have that sand. There it is. Definitely want to make bottles. Kind of a painstaking process, but it works. Perfect. And yeah, sure enough, I have the stuff to make some lesser healing potions, and they're not terribly expensive. It's worth it for any mushrooms you get to just turn them into lesser healings. As long as you don't abuse them, it just makes life easier. And I don't have any copper or anything like that left. At last, we're starting to get into the groove of what a proper setup ought to look like. Also some bile powder, which actually is a damaging weapon in this version, which is kind of odd, but it wasn't a trait that lasted terribly long. So, kind of funny thing, my sister has started trying to get me into Animal Crossing New Horizons. It's never been a game that I had on my radar very much. But one of the first things that I've noticed about that game is just how little inventory space you have. I mean, even she's complained about it, but it was more than I'd realized. Like, it's pretty ridiculous, actually. But That's how it works. Oh, I do have bombs. Okay. There's a ton of those guys swarming. But I think it's worth it to try to go for the star. Okay. And then we will make some more wooden walls. Perfect. And then we will kind of fill in the space a little more. These rooms might arguably be a little too big. They are kind of darkly lit on their own, but I think they'll look much better once I have the full chandeliers for them. Once I either find them underground, which I actually don't think happens in this one because no abandoned mine shafts, but you do have a lot of spare copper. Will absolutely be a thing. So I'm not too worried about it as long as I get enough of that. I can decorate the place with those. And potentially even enhance them once I get to the underground jungle. So now all I have to do... This room actually doesn't need anything else. I don't think it counts as housing. Well, I'm actually going to do two things. So, one, I'm going to move this down. Heck, the rooms just look empty without them, so I'll give a table to all of the rooms, except for this one, that I'm in now. Even if it is costly. And chairs. Hey, there he is. Now, hopefully, tomorrow we'll have a nurse move in. And I just lost that fallen star. That's okay. There's a lot of fallen stars required to get a full set of mana. It's going to be one of the more time-consuming things I have to deal with in this playthrough. But hey, I've got a pretty decent little housing system. And hopefully, it qualifies as valid housing. Doesn't seem like a nurse has arrived, but I have had at least one crystal, which I believe was the only requirement. So hopefully that happens. If it doesn't, I might have to make the house smaller, which isn't the end of the world. Now let's try to get just a few more resources and try not to die. Come on. No, 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 no. Unfortunate. Yeah, water mining was an absolute pain in this... in pretty much any of old Terraria. Oh, hey, there we go. Nurse has arrived. Very handy. Actually, the nurse really didn't serve a lot of purpose until they balanced healing. Because before, the nurse was basically never an economical option. Better to just scavenge for mushrooms and gel and get a free 100 health boost that you could use wherever you wanted. It was really busted. And once you got full healing potions in the late game, it was even more busted. Like, you just didn't have a reason to use the nurse at all. Okay. Should have just placed a torch down. I don't know why I didn't think to do that. Okay. Keeping things well lit underwater is easily the biggest challenge with it. Jeez. No. Okay. Getting a lot of iron. That's good. Very useful resource. Have a decent number of bombs. But now my skeleton friend over here is in the way. I don't think I can take him. Maybe with a health potion spam. He's got 60 health though, and I don't do very much damage to him at all. Nope. That was not gonna work. He'll despawn though. And the nice thing is, now that I'm so close to the cave, it doesn't take me all that long to get back down there at all. One thing I will absolutely recommend to anybody interested in some old Terraria stuff, I will have a Terraria sources playlist made once the video comes out. I'm not really finished with it yet to release it right at this moment. I might release it a little bit before the video comes out though. Maybe around the time that like 1.2 drops, I'll have pretty much everything I need in terms of old Terraria information. But besides that, you should absolutely check out a lot of Uramir's classic Terraria content. It's all very good. He stopped making stuff around the 1.3 mark, a little bit before Journey's End came out. Boop, boop. Okay, there's another skeleton. Oh boy. Again. Okay. We're gonna do that. Of course, that's the time that I make it. And we're gonna need... I'm not seeing. And out we go. And... oh, great. Well... I guess I can take advantage of this. Jeez, maybe I can't. Yeah, this is taking forever, and it's costly. Weird things like how torches still carry light underwater as long as you're holding them. Didn't mean to do that. That was very dumb. Oh, nice. I got a hook. Oh, that's an awesome item to get this early on. I can make a grappling hook, like, almost immediately now. That is super nice. Wow, that's the best RNG I've had in a hot minute. Okay, so as far as getting into the deeper cavern layer, this is probably my best bet. We're gonna have to just do some good old-fashioned digging, it looks like. Unless I want to go try to find another cave system. But usually with ones like this, there's just some sort bottlenecks in them, and then they start back up again. Just definitely going to want to make sure that we have stuff well lit. And have some more platforms ready in case I need to make an escape route. Although once again, running low on wood. Definitely need to start replanting around my area now that I'm done building. And then do some other stuff as well. I guess I could also plant right on top of my house. I don't think I've ever done that before. Probably because it kind of limits my building potential for on top of it, which I might do for like my potion farm and stuff like that. Not sure. Gems did not serve very many purposes in old Terraria. I think the gem wands... Actually, no, I don't think gem wands were a thing. I think some of the only stuff they did had to do with, like a very small number of the, not even vanity items. There were no vanity items yet. I don't really know what they did. I think they might have only existed to be sold in 1.0. Which, you know, seems silly, but I think that's kind of all they did. Okay, well now we're kind of in scary territory because I don't have any more platforms. Although, I have walls that I can turn back into platforms. Can I do that by hand? Because I could remake a workbench. Depending on if. I can't do that, no. Okay. That'll just be another thing we have to do afterward, I guess. Until then... the small amount of stuff we have to traverse what we can. I really shouldn't have that. I don't want it to know that I've been this way. Oh, jeez. Okay. Ooh, worth it. And wow, I can't believe it. We got diamonds. Not exactly as useful as finding Minecraft diamonds, but still pretty handy. Honestly, I'm surprised I'm able to get this far without platforms, even if it stops right here. Shame that I haven't seen any glowing mushroom biomes. Those are where things really get special in terms of healing items. Everything's like oddly sparkly over there. Don't know why though. Might have just been the copper. Okay. Yeah, it's just nice to be able to kind of jump off onto places like that and not have to worry so much about like just randomly hitting a dart trap and then having to deal with a bunch of poison damage, stuff like that. Oh boy. Gonna give up. Just didn't see the amethyst up here. So far, the most plentiful of the gems. Go. And hey, we loop back around to here. Interesting. The eternal thing. If only there were stone platforms, right? Make life much easier. I probably have enough cobwebs, but I'll go up and get them. Okay. Now, paying too much attention to lighting. It was well lit. It was well lit enough to fight, but all right. I have a nurse now. I have a lot more iron. Wow. It's very useful, actually. It's one of the things I need to worry about. I can't believe I haven't got a shackle yet. I don't know how many iron chains I need for a hook. I want to say it's 3. But it's clearly not. Oh, shoot. I did that a lot in early Terraria. It's an easy thing to do. There we are. A grappling hook. The peak of modern innovation. Way ahead of schedule. Very, very nice. Okay. So now I'm going to make a silver broadsword. I might make a gold bow. I think that's going to be the better course of action. I'll need the silver broadsword later, so this only makes sense. It is a little bit faster. It's 2 damage less than a gold broadsword, but for the most part, that's only like 1 extra hit per enemy. And it's not that useful against bosses or anything, so I'm not worried about it from that angle. Although I'm really hurting for a chest. That's the biggest issue right at this minute. Not worried about mana potions since I still don't have enough fallen stars. I'm still 6 away. I mean, that's still kind of the craziness about the system up to this point. This is kind of silly. Like, I know you get a small boost for it, but why is it like that? I'll make the goofy-looking early iron helmet because it's kind of funny. And, alright. Oh, right, wood. Reconnection successful. Awesome. Okay. Bit of an odd quirk there. Not exactly sure what happened. I mean, it ultimately wasn't much, but... Okay. Gotta do... Turn the wood platforms back into wood. How do I do that? Don't tell me it wasn't a thing yet. Oh, that'll really suck if that's not a thing yet. Jeez. Of course, you're no help either. I guess I just made too many wood walls. That's unfortunate. I'm gonna put a sunflower down. Eventually that'll serve more of a purpose, but for the moment it can just be a thing. Yeah, it's still... I mean, I think that's the same number of kills, ultimately. As a gold sword. I'll just kind of stay out here. Kill some skeletons, kill some demon eyes. Okay. And I kind of need some more wood in general, so let's flatten out this whole space. Yeah, it's still a lot faster. I haven't been playing for all that long either. Yeah, I'm not even 2 hours into the game. It's pretty good. It's definitely faster than I've done in the past. Like, I could be ready for the Eye Cthulhu if I got good enough luck with Demon Eyes. And gold. Because I would most likely need a gold bow to make it reliably. Jeez, I've already had trees grow. Kind of crazy, actually. Let's see, as far as this goes, let's just terraform it all to the slightly higher elevation. It'll just be easier. Although I actually might not have enough dirt to do too much. I thought I'd hit that limitation, but I guess we can just take some out of the other hill. I don't even think I've been up here. No. Wouldn't have left so many mushrooms. Okay, yeah, we can cut this down a bit. How are the turntables? Now I'm pretty much reliant on nighttime to do anything useful on the surface. Okay. Boom. Boom. Let's kind of do it as like a straight pyramid upward. Soldatron would be proud. Man, I ended up needing more dirt for things, not less. Oh, that's not good. Okay. Here's what we can do. But getting rid of walls is going to be even more time consuming, it's the thing. All this terraforming stuff is mostly optional anyway, but yeah, it kind of sucks. When's the last time you heard of a Terraria player asking for more dirt, please? I just realized that it's missing. How is that considered valid housing? I wonder if that's a bug. I don't know what's all documented about 1.0. Sorry I haven't been talking too much, fellas. I'm sure that's been very engaging watching me do chopping wood with a copper axe. I could probably afford to go for iron, honestly. How much I don't have as much as I thought. That sucks. I will go ahead and make that second bed. Maybe I shouldn't actually, because I'm running out of inventory space. Okay. Make a stack of platforms. Why? Like, I get it, you can, I guess. But... why, nurse? Ooh, I missed a spot. Yeah, it wasn't much, but... may as well, right? Should be fixing my posture a bit. I can play at a more comfortable form this way. Here we go. That's right, we already explored this. Didn't we? Or was there a way through here? I don't remember what I did. Through here? Yes. Perfect. Okay. And then, I don't know if I hit something of a dead end along the way here, or what. Well, that didn't lead to much of anything. Jeez. That over here? From what? Anyway, let's go ahead and take care of those guys, because I already did that much damage to them. What happened to my health? Oh, I didn't heal. Thought I had. Hey, merchant joined. I'm guessing I just hit a gold. Or... no? I don't know why the merchant joined. Maybe it just hit a certain day limit. Okay, well at least he's a lot less scary now. Can afford to be a little more brazen. A little. Okay. Okay. Let's go ahead and do... Seems like the best straightaway. Let's just continue this scheme. Oh, jeez. Oh, this is gonna be close. Damn. Well, I won't have much money for your merchant, but let's see what I can buy. Oh, and demolitionist. Yeah, legit. We got basically the whole crew. 50 silver, 5 silver, and 5 silver. What can I get from you? Arrows for fairly cheap. Lesser healing potions for a decent price. Wish I'd been able to do that, but it wasn't really worth it. And I forgot about the mining helmet. It could actually be a pretty useful item. And the piggy bank, which is the most important. And also, I just realized there's some holes in the wall that I want to plug up. Just because they're bugging me. Excellent. So, aside from being a little dark, these are in good shape. They have a pretty good little setup. Also been severely underutilizing the grappling hook. It's a very handy weapon, especially for underwater travel. So yeah, the first and most important item is actually going to be the piggy bank. I think this will be one of the first times, maybe even the first time ever, that I got the piggy bank before I got the, an actual chest. I mean, maybe that'll change on this specific round, I don't know. This is specifically for chandeliers, by the way. Normally I wouldn't be going for a vein of copper at this point. Ooh, a lot of gemstones. See, it was worth it. It was all worth it in the end. Terraria likes to do that a lot. There's a lot of kind of like fake out prizes like that behind certain things. A lot of people can kind of get into the mindset, well, copper's kind of worthless, you know? I don't need to get that stuff. And it's true you don't, but there's a lot of cool stuff that's often hidden behind that copper. This is not a pro gambling position. Don't trust that one picture. That's not what I'm saying. Just because Terraria game design is good does not mean that life game design is good. Believe me. Oh, man. At least this time I can actually run. Ooh. There we go. Took care of Ems. He's gonna come down here, isn't he? Come on, come on, come on, come on. Damn it, wrong weapon. Heal. Okay, quickly, quickly, quickly. Okay. Yo, Napkin, hi. Yeah, so this is an innovative thing, kind of, maybe. I don't know, man. This is just something I've always wanted to try a little bit. I actually tried it about a year ago, but I didn't get very far because of a issue with trying to get a regular streaming schedule. Not really worried about that anymore, though. I always wanted an excuse to go back to older Terraria, but there's just a lot of compromises you have to make doing that, and especially because so much stuff is locked away in console that's kind of gone now. It's just kind of a weird setup. Reminds me of Grain's Old Evolution SMP. I'm not familiar. I'm guessing that's a Minecraft thing, right? SMP? Man, it does make you remember just how much of pre-hard mode mining was the game back then. Early Terraria could be very, very grindy. Didn't help that silver was practically impossible to tell. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, beta Minecraft itself has had a lot of crazy stuff happen over time. I mean, even outside of stuff like the old, like, cave game prototypes that they have actually preserved. You know, even going back to the last version that lets you import world files. It's pretty crazy how much games like this can change and yet still remain some, at least partially reverse compatible. Okay, I'm noticing something a little bit off with the stream layout, actually. Kind of limiting what could be shown on screen unnecessarily because of my own chat window. I'm going to actually edit that just slightly here. Pausing the game. And we're just going to slightly move this over. Oh, really? How far can you... Well, obviously certain stuff won't... Or you know what, with Minecraft, you probably don't have to deal with spawning limitations, right? Like, you pretty much just have complete control. Like, oh, your world didn't spawn with dungeons, just go farther to the north, and eventually it'll show up. Or is there only one per world? Because that is the only serious limitation of what I'm doing here. You'll notice I have a caveat of no worlds except 1.2. There's reasons for that. Mostly Lizard Temple. There's kind of nothing along here, I guess. Nope. Okay. Chest. Oh my god. Salvation. Getting chests was probably one of the craziest things that you could actually do. Magic mirror, oh my god. That is insane, actually. Getting a magic mirror could be such a pain in this version. Oh man, I've got that. I've got ammo, which didn't have its own spot yet. A lot of copper and some dynamite. Oh, that is awesome. And of course, the most important thing is the chest itself. Let's see, what can we get rid of? I actually might actually use clay for stuff, but I don't really need this extra stack of stone. I can get rid of that. Oh, thank God. Finally. And, on top of that, another life crystal. This has been a really productive first leg of the playthrough, to be honest. I'm very, very surprised with how well this is done. Yeah, that's crazy. And what else should be up here? I don't know if anything's really qualified to me. That can go. There we go. Here's something. So if I go over here... Oh my god, yeah. So chests were just brutally stunted in 1.0 and 1.1. They literally got doubled in capacity in 1.2. But you know what? Compared to what I've been recently dealing with Animal Crossing inventory, this is nothing. This is great. So, you know, it's just a matter of mindset. Interesting. So you started in a version prior to mobs, gravel, sand, and redstone. That's nuts, dude. I mean, there's still a lot of, like, intrinsic stuff missing from this version, but it isn't like that. Oh, jeez. Let's just go over here, shall we? We'll find them on land. It's really nice being able to run away from mobs and not having to worry about traps, though. It is a very free-flowing, much more relaxed experience, mining in 1.0 Terraria. Like, enemies can kind of come out of the darkness from nowhere, but besides that, like, it's... You don't have to worry about accidentally landing on a dart trap and losing half your health. Ooh, single nugget of gold. Okay. I'm almost out of torches. Ooh. Matter of fact, I am out of torches. Let's make some more. Enough for a whole new stack. Looks like a little bit of silver hidden over here. Certainly stone. Also just weird little UI stuff. Like I mentioned earlier in the stream that, like your health points are blue in this version, which is just very strange. When were traps and caves invented? That's a good question, actually. I think, like, the proper, like, abandoned mineshaft kind of stuff wasn't really a thing until 1.1. They looked a lot different, though, but they did exist. And then, I don't think traps were invented until 1.1 as well. In a lot of ways, this is a late beta. Like, even though we don't call it that, and that's because Relogic doesn't call it that, because of the experience, or rather the situation Terraria found itself in when this came out, it wasn't exactly the version they wanted to be 1.0. Chippy Gaming has a pretty decent video on how exactly that all went. Oh, what the hell? What? Oh, there was a slime there. I was so confused. I thought I was getting crushed or something. Oh, jeez. Okay. Well, a lot of loot. That was actually a pretty decent stopping point anyway. As far as... Well, not the stream, but... just other things. Let's see, I kind of want this stuff to be close to crafting. Let's see if we can put a couple in. And then, I don't know if I'm going to regret that later. We'll see. But yeah, they did not offer you very much space at all. But man, is it still kind of a godsend. But I don't have nearly enough coins for that. This and topaz, I thought. Yeah. More topaz than any of them. We'll smelt what we can. Must be at the bottom. You can really feel where it's rushed in places. And a lot of silver. Got silk. Which actually I'll turn into a bed. Get the rest over there. And then I'll go ahead and keep that stuff over here. I'll keep explosives away so that I don't accidentally try to use them when I don't want to. I can go in there. Okay. And let's look into healing. Like, there's just some really busted stuff. Like, lesser healing potions are so absurdly powerful in this version. Animal Crossing is such a cluttered game, honestly. I mean, I guess in some respects, you could consider that part of the charm or something, but I just kind of find it to be a hassle. If you can get above that, though, it's not so bad at all. Let's sell the old wooden sword, because I don't really need it for anything. And I think that'll be about it before I head back off into the cave. I may as well just keep those stacks there. I'll just keep a stack of stone. I might turn it into bricks or something. Okay. I did have a lot of silver there. Was there anything that I can make with that? think the depth meter's a thing that I can actually craft in this version, which is kind of weird. I think it takes some silver, some gold, and some copper. Has to be made. I think it's actually made at a table and chair. I must not have the stuff for it. Although it might also need a bottle. There were some weird recipes back in the day. Maybe it wasn't silver, maybe it was iron. I might just not have enough gold. So it's pretty sure that was craftable. And there were some weird looking sprites back then. I'm actually surprised how well some of them have aged. Let's go ahead and do a silver pickaxe. I think we have enough to comfortably do that. Because silver isn't going to be used for much else besides the silver broadsword, and I think there might be some other jungle thing that needs another silver component, but I'm not that worried about it for now. There's a lot of silver in the jungle. Let's do it. A little bit more pickaxe power. Not enough to do meteorite, but that's not a big deal. That. And I think that's it. Micromanaging really hasn't changed much. It's still very much the name of the game at this early phase. Oh, I actually took some fall damage there. It's a rarity in this version. Why I keep going this way. There are definitely another couple major pieces of chest loot that I would like to find, but of course there is the possibility of angel statues, so I'm not going to say too much on that. Out of fear of bad luck. Oof. Can't believe that wasn't fall damage. What the heck were the rules? I don't think there were any. Okay. It's also weird I haven't ran into any glowing mushroom biomes, which seems really strange. I almost always ran into one by now. This seems really wide open. The heck? I don't normally see ones like that. It's actually a weird sight to have in this version of Terraria. There's a weird habit of 1.0 design that kind of kept the cave systems very claustrophobic. And that was partially because you only had 800 by 600 pixels to work with. The game's only running in 2x, and the menus aren't even doing that. Okay, good. There's at least some water. But there's other stuff in the water, so... not great. Oh man, these stupid black slimes that are invisible. To swing and hope you get results, dude. Can't see anything. You know, I was really hoping there was going to be some glowing mushrooms. At least there's a life crystal. I guess that's... Had very good luck with those. It is kind of the nice thing that Terraria did strike a balance of really quickly. There's so many different factors that you could potentially get lucky with that you never feel like you're just too bogged down. Unless you get, like, a ton of angel statues or something. To which it just serves no purpose whatsoever. Like, yeah, I haven't gotten lucky with chests, just broadly in general, but I got lucky with the first thing that was in one. Okay. Hi. And otherwise, the whole cave system's been very generous. Even if it's been punishing in terms of difficulty. Just a lot of silver. I mean, I guess I can work with that. But I would have preferred a little bit more gold so that I could make that bow. 'Cause then I could definitely start grinding for Eye Cthulhu or Eater of Worlds. Both of which are pretty easy fights in this version. Swamp a bit here. Like, I feel like lava can't be that far. Oh boy. This could be a problem. My first magic mirror drop. But I only have 60 coins. I got another hook, though. Not that it really has any purpose, but... Okay. I probably didn't have to panic magic mirror there. I probably could have just healed. It's so abusable in this one. Because you only have... I think it's a 10-second cooldown. It is almost nothing. Which is pretty crazy. I'm gonna make a bridge. I'm tired of doing this. Just not gonna deal with that. At least I don't have to go back for drops or anything. Ooh, Blood Moon. I might actually take advantage of that. Because at this point it's looking like I'm just going to get some more silver. I might be able to find glowing mushrooms. If I can, that'll be extremely useful, because I would absolutely be, you know, just completely minted for fighting both of the early bosses. Hoping I can get a shackle. That would be really handy. Yeah, I'm used to making a gold broadsword, but to be honest, silver gets the job done. I never needed to do that. Like, this still shreds. Maybe it takes like one extra hit per zombie, but with the amount of knockback you get, that's still more than enough. Ah! Oh, that was annoying. It still took up my healing potion. Oh well, I can take him out. Enemies never picked up your coins back then, so it really wasn't something you had to worry about so much. The game also had a bad habit of not alerting you when you got stuff. Like, I've already gotten 2 shackles. Which I believe were stackable items back then. You could put as many on you as you, could hold. I think that was a thing. Yes, yes it was. Dope. So that means that I can get an extra 5 defense from doing this. Which is actually 6 defense because of the way Terraria works. Because odd numbers are rounded up. Oh, I actually don't have enough for that. Okay. That's okay, actually. I can just do this. Oh my god, and you can just survive that drop easily. I don't really drop much else either. Just health, usually. And money. Although not very much. I also think that the generic Eye of the Cthulhu timer, where after a certain number of nights he'll just automatically appear, is still a thing. I think it was even in the beta. Fourth shackle. And even after I start getting shackles that I can't myself equip, it'll still be useful. Because I will be able to sell them. And I can also get an odd defense armor piece and benefit from it, which is pretty handy. But yeah, Blood Moons kind of showcase that, Terraria sprite work was still not really finished yet. There is in fact one type of zombie, and I think maybe two types of eyeballs. Maybe even just one of those as well. So, enemy formats were very monotonous. Stuff like the Groom didn't exist, so there wasn't even, like, rare zombies with their own rare drops, that sort of thing. And there weren't any weather elements. I don't even think there were, like, animals like bunnies yet. So, the whole wasteland was just kind of barren. I also think I thought I saw gel on the ground, but it wasn't the right color, so that couldn't have been it. Also, I got a hook. I don't know if that was actually from one of them, though. Well, all in all, I got 7 lenses, which is enough for at least one fight with the eye. And I got 4 shackles, which is still pretty good. It's still an even number defense. Which means I can go for an odd numbered bit of armor. Which I think might actually prove useful with copper. Because it's 1 defense. Awesome. There we go. So there's my starting defense. I forgot about goggles. I might have actually done that. Okay, so put that back. And then I did just remember something about the way that chests stack, by the way. Once you get to 1.2, one of the things that you're really going to want to keep in mind for this is that when chests double, this second, the lower 2 rows actually just become the additional sections of the first 2. So you want to have stuff stacked so that it will actually look correct in that version. Otherwise, you could end up with some really weird issues. Just a weird quirk that I happen to just remember was a thing. Another thing is that dynamite can actually break part of the Ebonstone. Bombs won't do it in this version, but dynamite will. So even though it's quite expensive, I could actually go try to break some shadow orbs, and I could probably survive it with all of my current gear. I mix on whether or not I want to try that, though. I think I might try to fight the Eye Cthulhu before I do that. So one of the things that I might actually want to do for the eye is just extend out this. Maybe to, like, I don't know. Let's see. Oh, that's right. There isn't wood. It's hammered. And heck, let's make a faster hammer, because this is going to get annoying if I ever have to redo something on there. So first of all, I can make some more silver bars. Some more iron bars, which don't really have too much purpose to them. And I think I can... Or I don't have any wood. Okay. Fair enough. We can upgrade our tools here. God save your soul. Yeah, Shark, this is going to be a time-consuming challenge, I have no doubt. At least I don't have to, like, completely restart the game after each one, but it is still a lot. And also, I might fudge the rules for some stuff, like Cobalt Armor. We'll get to Cobalt Armor in 1.0. That might not happen. I'm thinking about it. Because the odds are just so piss poor. And for some reason, I'm seeing... Or that's right. How much does silver stuff cost? Because I have 15 bars of this stuff still. And I think I'm going to be insistent on going for gold on my bow. Silver axe for 9 and silver hammer for 10. I don't have enough for that. But I am going to go silver for the axe. And then I will go iron for the hammer. Just to make things a little faster. Oh, I have enough to get the piggy bank. Dope. Immediately burning up my money. That's alright. I'll get a lot from bosses, so I'm not worried about it. And then I'll put the piggy bank up here. As far as what I'll save in the piggy bank, I'm not actually too worried about it for the moment. I'll just keep it on me. Okay. So, this is already 2 out. Let's go ahead and make it 20. So, just because... Okay. Then, how about another 10? And another 10. There we go. That should be good. You give me some space. And then... 2 floors should be enough for fighting the Eye Cthulhu. I'm not too worried about it from there. Because his movement patterns aren't too crazy, he offers decent healing. I'll have to kill him in 1 life, because it's PC, but it's not so bad. Okay. I think it also might partially stifle the growth of trees here, but that's okay. I think they can handle it. Let's just do that for the minute. Are you going to keep the aspect ratio through all the versions? So originally I was planning on not doing that because it does change pretty quickly. And to be honest, Terraria widescreen is a tool that exists. If you want to play 1.0 and you want to play it in 720p, you can. And it works pretty well. But the reason I'm specifically going for 800 by 600 is because I have a monitor that runs it. I have a CRT that'll actually do it, and with scanline generation, it looks pretty phenomenal. So even though the aspect ratio is very poor, and I will pay dearly for it when I get to Moonlord, I'm going to stick with it. How many updates am I going to circulate through? Okay, so for that one, I originally was just going to do the big ones, but recently I discovered a massive repository of basically every update ever. I'll look into it to make absolutely sure there aren't any that are just going to erase my save file after each progress or some weird issue like that. And beyond that, I'm going to do them all. Every single upgrade that I can get my hands on. At least that aren't just like pure hot fixes where it's like, oh, game's more stable. I can't do anything for that. There's no new content to really see besides, oh, the game crashes less often. Cool. On its own, that doesn't really have too much work. Just press minus. What does pressing minus do? Now I'm kind of curious. Also, trees grow really fast in this version. Almost as fast as I can plant them. Yeah. Oh, it zooms it out. Oh my god, that'd be amazing if I could do that on here. I think that's the only that's actually the other reason that I don't really want to mess with resolutions too much. The ability to scale your resolution wasn't added until 1.3.5. That's how long it took, which is absurd. And to some extent, being able to play the game as it was originally designed to scale is just going to look better. It also means that I could make it so that you could watch the entire game on a CRT if you happen to have one, which I think is pretty swag. Not that many people are going to bother with that, even if they have the tools, but it's cool, I think. Yeah, I think between all of that we're set. I have 22 health potions. Let's make a silver bow, get as many arrows as I can. Let's fight the eye. Let's just do it. And I can make the demon bow, fight the Eater of Worlds. And I'll be pretty much set for hell. I think it's up here. Yep. There's my demon altar. I'm gonna carve out an easier way to that. A little easier. Okay. Where's the eye? I have more than 6 lenses. Where's the eye? I just remembered. Oh my god. You need 10 lenses in this version. I forgot they changed that. Oh, shoot, I clicked off the game. Okay, let's fix that up right now. Okay. Oh my god, I did it again. I'm very good at this. There we go. Sorry about that, fellas. The best challenge in GUU has ever made. Imagine if you could do that within GUU. I think it'd be funny if somebody made an endless pack. You could probably fill the entirety of beginner with just versions of endless. I think there might actually be 10 of them now. Okay, well, since I can't do that, I guess I'm well equipped enough for mining. Well, I should have put my money away. I can still do that. An endless pack. Ah, I get it. These are the jokes. Okay. Let's see. I can only go for about, I don't know, maybe 30 more minutes, maybe 40. Let's see how far I can get in that time. And I might get on later as well. Because eventually I'll have to go for much shorter sessions. So I would like to get as far as I can before then. If I can help it. I missed gold. I can't believe that. I almost thought the eye could do it without that gold as well. I love not having a right-click option. All versions of Team Modloader, it would be awesome, but I don't think most 1.1.2 stuff works. tconfig was just too different. I would like to do a modded 1.1 playthrough though, because it's kind of an unsung era. Like, a lot of people, when they're talking about Terraria history, are like, yeah, there was never, like, a formalized thing for 1.1. And it's like, there was absolutely a T-config for 1.1. It wasn't nearly as robust as 1.2 would eventually be, but it was there. It got stuff. Reborn has a ton of cool stuff in it, and it's designed around 1.1 balance, which was very different from what we have now. 1.1 balance was brutal. It's a very hard version. It might be the hardest version of Terraria, to be honest. Okay, I think that's all I'm going to get from this space. Reminds me of NTU and compacts. Honestly, yeah. There's going to be a lot of 1 points, because I think that's literally it for Terraria. There's all just 1 points, which seems kind of silly, to be honest. If they'd called Terraria 1.2 Terraria 2.0, it would have been apt. They changed so much of the game. Like, it's borderline unrecognizable. Man, amazing luck with life crystals tonight, boys. Ooh. Was that 3 damage? Is that how overpowered those shackles are? That is amazing. Like, I get why they stopped you from being able to stack items like that, but man, that is awesome. Look at this world generation. This is something. That is a large vein of iron. Holy crap. Okay, that's less large than I thought. I thought it was like the whole side of the sheer cliff. Okay, we got a chest down here. What's in it? Hermes boots! Baby! Oh, that's awesome. And some shurikens and some bottles. And of course, that means another chest. Which is always welcome. This might be the most productive, like, first session of Terraria I've ever had, which is really funny. But I guess I've never really played, like, 1.4 standard. My only playthrough of 1.4 was on Master. So, I guess that colors my interpretation. I could probably get much farther than this. In a very short time. In 1.4 if I was on standard difficulty. Also, I really don't need to be that worried about platforms. I have a grappling hook now. I just kind of keep forgetting that because I almost never have it this early. Yeah, nothing. Like, this thing just got results back then. I guess it still does. There we go, finally some gold. Another magic mirror, wow. And some dynamite, and some more torches, and 2 whole gold coins. That's a good chest right there. Oh, that's water as well. We'll try to get some of that gold. Great. Yeah, come on. And I think that's lava. Man, no glowing mushrooms at all, huh? It's disappointing. I don't think they were an optional thing in world generation either. It just sort of turned out like this. Still can't see your stream. Oh, shoot. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. Oh, nice. You just got to the moon and Kerbal. That's awesome. Okay, let's see here. No drop frames. Let's try... We're gonna do a little thingamajig. Reset it like that. Then hopefully... all I have to do is that. And we're back. Okay, sorry about that. Alright. You didn't miss much. Hopefully. Okay, good. Glowing mushrooms! At last! Salvation! Oh my god, it's beautiful. Oh, there's something up there. Hello. Well, down he goes. Okay. Oh, it's spectacular. And it even comes with a special feature. If I just do this. This is one of the funniest glitches because it easily happens on accident. It started before you got the Hermes boots. Oh, geez, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's unfortunate. That was in the, Did it at least show the chest that they were from? Because it was next to those two weird river basins next to each other. Oh, that sucks. Good 2 minutes for hard mode to start after you kill the wall of flesh on 3DS. Wait, what? Oh my god, you play Terraria 3DS? That is the weirdest version, dude. Terraria 3DS is built different. Okay, time to get some glowing mushrooms. I'm not gonna kill the big ones because they grow uniquely in this version. They, have a different behavior, basically. Okay, let's get out of here. And by the way, you could just eat glowing mushrooms in this version, which is pretty cool. It's, kind of a neat little bonus aspect to it. Yeah, this is a whole opening to the wider underground. Rubies, which I don't even think I have inventory space for. Oh wow. What do I have inventory space for? Here, that should go over here. I can go over here, I guess. Boom, boom. There we go. Three stacks of pots, yeah. Of course, in this, like, the way that potions work in 1.0 is just so unbelievably busted. Like, I can't believe it lasted for as long as it did. I thought that would have just been a 1.0 thing, and they were like, okay, this needs a balance patch now. Because we'll see it in a second, because I'm going to craft some. Standard healing potions are just unbelievable. Pre-potions update, they were just on another level. Interesting, I even got some mushroom grass seeds. I forgot you could even get them in this one. I don't think they do a lot, but that's pretty cool. I don't think they grow naturally. So it's basically just for style points. Still. Anything over here? Doesn't really look like it. Okay. Well, hey. Found that. I got the fasty running shoes. Not that they do much in water. Found lava. I'd say that's pretty good. Head back to surface. Maybe I can just farm out some rotten chunks. Maybe I don't even have to fight the Eye of Cthulhu. Well, I mean, I could fight him eventually, but just not make him a priority. That's a lot of gold. It gets used up quick, but it's a lot of gold. Oh, that is more than enough. Takes what, 7? Okay. And then... Oh, wow, I have enough for a gold broadsword on top of that. Sweet. And I can just keep the silver one. I mean, I'm not going to use it, though, is the thing. I'm not going to waste the gold. Iron in very good quantities. I wonder if this is enough for depth meter. It's not, but it's enough for healing potions. You are not misreading that. That is 200 health. That is literally Moonlord tier. I have yet to fight a boss. And the game is offering me Moonlord tier healing at, I believe, a 1/6 of the cooldown. Don't mind if I do. Not that I even need it. I only have 200 health to begin with. Okay. So... I only have rubies. So the only thing we're missing is emeralds. I wish there was stuff we could actually do with these. But there really isn't. I don't really have a purpose for the second magic mirror, so I think they sell for gold. Sweet. I definitely have a lot of money. Got some shurikens. That'll be useful against the eater. I think Jester's arrows exist. I don't remember how to craft them, or if they can be. Yeah, maybe I can't do it. Because I think eventually it became 3 arrows and a fallen star. Let's see. Okay. Thing is, I will need a lot of wood if I wanted to make an arena above ground for fighting the eater. But I can do it. I'm gonna keep the bow on standby. Alright, let's go ahead and venture off. Not having a cloud in a bottle sucks, but besides that, we're pretty much set. Oh, we're starting to see the corruption spread. Weird quirk of early corruption was that there were no trees in the entire biome. It would actually destroy trees as it spread. Also had a unique kind of like purple and orange look to it. It was pretty neat. Though it could get very dark. Oh, a pinky. I think they dropped like a full gold still. My god, they have so much health. Also, did I actually put my piggy bank down? Shoot. Because, yeah, that was like 95 silver. That's not the end of the world. Okay. Let's just kind of explore this space a bit. Ooh, Eye of Cthulhu. Okay. I guess I already hit the turn count. Shoot, I don't have all the stuff that I would like to have for that. Okay. Get my bow. Oh shoot, I just... Oh my god. I need money. Buy a bunch of arrows. Oh, I can quick steal. Okay. Okay. Now turn a bunch of them into flaming arrows. Come on. I didn't mean to do that. Okay. Here we go. There he is. Oh, what am I doing? He might kill some NPCs. It's not impossible. I wasn't expecting to have Hermes boots, so I would have changed the arena around a little bit. Okay, here we go. Got him. All right. Whew, okay. Well, that was not what I expected from that night, but okay. Pretty cool. One sudden battle with the Eye of Cthulhu later, and we're set. So now I can craft a Lightsbane. Man, that almost went very poorly. Yeah, wow. Where's the Demonite? There it is. 50 Demonite ore. Enough for some of the basic stuff. And at last, mana is on the board as well. I forgot to use my shurikens as well. I think they might have actually been kind of underpowered by this point. But yeah, very cool. Now I can put some of my spare arrows somewhere. Possibly in here. Just keep the flaming ones here. Combine those. Put my corrupt seeds. My glowing mushroom seeds in here. Okay, so as far as what I'm going to make, I do want a Lightsbane, but I also want a Demon Bow. As far as which one's better for fighting the Eater of Worlds, it'll probably be this. So, let's do it. I might not have even needed the gold bow, to be honest, but it got results. And I'll take a few arrows with me. Dropped a whole bunch of lesser healing potions, which can be converted to standard healing potions. Very cool. Then money can go here. Awesome. This has been a very, very good first run. $7 gold. Raring to go into the fight against the Eater of Worlds. I might actually get on later, but I am unfortunately out of time for the immediate session, so it's at least going to be a minute before I can get back on. Alright, fellas. thank you very much for sticking around for as long as you have. It has been a pleasure to get to try this out at last, and I think already get further than I did in those first 2 runs, just playing a bit more aggressive, taking an approach closer to what Euromir did in a lot of his runs, and I think it paid off very well. And yeah, getting to kill the Eye of Cthulhu that quickly was not something I actually expected. I didn't think I'd spent that much time in the game, but I guess I hit the mark. So that'll be it for now. So long, Gay Bowsers.